will be the focus on role model. Join Oluwatobi Babarinde on Osbc TV, channel 113 on Start Time and 502 on Free TV. Every Monday, 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Role model, it promises to be educating and interesting. Watch out. When purpose is not discovered, abuse becomes inevitable. According to one white man, J.Z. Maswell, he also said that when preparation meets with opportunity, success becomes inevitable. Success is inevitable. Yes, when preparation and opportunity comes together, these are many other issues will be the focus of our discussion on today's edition on this program, that is Role Model. And I want to tell you that you can follow us on all our social media platforms, and you can reach us on Free TV 502, Start Times 113. Yes, Role Model is a program that was specifically designed to address gray area as pertinent to issues that affect our youth in the society. We say that we want to de-emphasize the importance and the significance of more emphasis, too much emphasis on materialism, money making. We want to address areas that that needs attention, that needs to encourage moral values, inculcate moral values, godliness, and good behavior among our youth. These and many other is the focus of our discussion on this program, Role Model. And it is on that note I'm welcoming you, our viewers, once again on board to this edition of the program. Yes, by God's grace, we have the topic that we'll be discussing today on the program. And what is the topic we'll be considering on today's edition of the program? The topic is the impact of role modeling on future generation. What is the impact of role modeling or role model on the future generations? I think these upcoming young ones that we are talking about in the society. The fact is that if we want to make our society a vibrant one, a better one, safe one for all of us, there is a need for all of us presently now to begin to look at those issues, especially those issues moral decadence and a lot of social vices that has permeated every nook and crannies of the society today. There is a need for us to look at it, address it holistically, so that we can have a better nation, a better country, and a better youth. Well, in doing justice to the topic we are chosen for discussion today, the impact of role modeling on future generations, I have with me in the house two big mummies in the house whom together I know they have all what it takes in discussing the program, the topic on the program today. I have Mrs. Adetoyi Catherine Foluke. She is the chairperson, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, the London Government chapter here in the Osun State, in Osogbo, Osun State. That's a welcome. That is from my immediate, and I also have with me the friend of the house, mommy who is not here to us here. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about Mrs. Citizen Lola Way. We have her. She's also here with us. You are welcome on the program.
Good evening, and thanks for having us.
Thank you, ma. Just like I've said from the intro, that I want to, today's discussion is really centered on the impact of role model on the future generation. I will start from Mrs. Adetoyi, from my immediate, right hand here. Mother, probably somebody is just watching us and is just watching for the first time, and there's a need for them to, who is a role model? Who is a role model? And what are those things that could be seen in the person to be addressed as a role model?
Thank you. Good evening, viewers at home. A role model is somebody that is worthy of imitation. Somebody that youth or younger generation can be looked up to. That is who a positive role model is.
Somebody that is a very good character that the younger generations can look up to. Ma, you want to add to what she said?
Yes, I'll say a positive role model serves as an example, a good example, inspiring the younger generation to be hardworking, to live a meaningful life, to live a life of positive impact.
live a life that is devoid of, supervisors and a lot of. Okay, thank you. From what Mommy said, she said somebody that is worthy of emulation, somebody that younger generations can, look up to,
Yes.
can easily imitate in good. Adding to what Mommy said, in good character, in good behavior, and in doing things right in a society. That is who a role model is. Okay, thank you. Can we have examples of example of role model? Example in our society, people that can, for the sake of mention, because some of these youth we are dealing with, and it's all from generations now, and the world of social media and things like that. So they really want to know. We are saying role model. Who should we follow? Who can we have mentioned their names and things like that? People that we can follow and can be of good example, be it for every quarter.
Before you can say somebody is a positive role model,
Okay.
the person must possess some characters. The person must be humble, must be compassionate, must be hardworking. We have many of them as an examples.
Okay.
We have a person of Wole Soyinka, who is always ready to fight for the helpless. He is a spokesman. He is the mouthpiece for those who have no mouth. Or let me say, the less privileged ones. You have an example of Mother Teresa of Calcutta. She's a world-known person. Before her death, she made impact on the poor. Coming back home, I just met with a man of dignity, a man of honor, a Muslim scholar. You know Mother Teresa was a Christian.
Yes.
I just met with a man of honor recently. The man is a Muslim scholar, a Grand Imam, the secretary to the Grand Imam, Akinwumi, Imam Abu Salam Akinwumi.
Okay.
I wish you meet with that man. He changed many things that I've been thinking. He changed many negative things that I have, many things that I do not know about Islam. He made me realize that Islam is a religion of peace. I wish we meet with him. I wish younger generations will emulate this man of honor.
Yes, I wish younger generation will emulate all these men and women of honor, like she has mentioned. So that is what we need. We need tolerance. We need a lot of things to accommodate ourselves to ensure that these people we call role model, our younger ones can really look up to them holistically and pick up certain traits in them that make them better, and we have applied to our life and will make our society a better place. Mommy, I want to add to it. Yes.
Yes, okay. Role models show young people how to live with integrity, with optimism, with hope, with determination and compassion. They play an essential part in a child's positive development.
They see possibility in the future of a child.
Yes. And we have so many of them in Nigeria. Ngozi Okonjo realized them.
Yes, she's one.
Flying the flag of Nigeria in the world, inspiring young girls to go for gold. Dr. Dora Akunyili, of blessed memory. It's also a very good role model. Same thing with the doctor that we lost to Ebola. Can't remember her name now. She was also a very positive role model.
We have Nelson Mandela too.
We have Nelson Mandela.
A lot of them like that.
A lot of them. A lot of them.
Okay. We have a lot of them that you have mentioned. While we talk the other time, we have been able to clear something here. That while we talk about role model, or who a good role model should use, we are talking about that particular person must have positive. Somebody watching at home will say, okay, what about this other side too? Because we are addressing a role model in the positive direction. Of course, we have young ones. We have people who are not really getting it. We have young ones who are doing. We have people who are not good example to the young ones who are doing things from this other side. You understand? We are talking about social vices. We say one of the essence of this program is I want to de-emphasize, the importance of materialism and social vices, lack of basic etiquette, moralities, and a lot of things like that. So we are not talking in that line. But what we are saying here is that if you want to be a role model, a person who is a role model will be somebody of good character, of good behavior, who act positive. And those are, look at the name they have been mentioned. So we have them like that. So, but for the sake of emphasis, can we just look at few qualities? You have you mentioned, you have already mentioned integrity, which is very key. I want you to expatiate more on integrity, optimism, and possibility as a role model. Can we expatiate more on that? Yes, Mommy.
When we talk of integrity, person of high integrity, let us flash back at Nelson Mandela. He was a man of high honor, a man of high integrity. He's a well-known person. Let us look at his activities when he was alive. Let us flash back at what he did for his country. I wish we have people of such throughout the world. I can't imagine how our world would have looked like today. Look at Nelson Mandela. Because of his country, he went into prison. He was ready to shed his blood for his country. How many of our youth today, how many of them, we see them running after money? Every day we discuss corruption. A person of high integrity will not run after what we give her or him money. A person of high integrity will be hardworking. The Bible says, show me your work, and I will tell you who you are. That is a person of high integrity.
Thank you. Let me come to you.
May I just add
a
few things to what she said about Nelson Mandela?
Okay.
I happened to, when I visited where he was kept for 27 years in South Africa, I really understood what he went for, and I respect him. Nelson Mandela had the opportunity of giving up on the struggle for South African freedom.
But he didn't do that.
Because he was offered that the moment he accepts to drop the struggle, he was going to be released. But he said no. That's what made him a man of honor and integrity. A positive role model. Is
to the upcoming world in politics.
Yes, he's a selfless person. He wasn't thinking about his comfort. He was thinking about the comfort of his people. A man and woman of honor and integrity. We think about the good of others before herself or himself.
Okay. I want us to come down to our own, immediate environment here. For example, if you look at the academic setting in our various institutions, on several occasions, you have during the convocation, you see, some people, some group of students who excel in their chosen career, coming out with 1-1 good result and things like that, even 2-1. And at the end of the day, you discover that the society is not really, looking up to their land. Because when you follow them, they are not well celebrated. And, you feel dejected. And I've listened to some of these young ones say, at the end of the day, what actually becomes of them and things like that. But this other way, you have a lot of programs on national TV and things like that to celebrate, things that are not really, really worth it.
Things that are not of value.
Of moral value and good culture that would be of good example to this upcoming one. But this one that are good, doing fine in the society, we abandon them. It look as if nobody appreciates what the effort they are putting. Of recent social media, we saw a lady who said she was able to get a result with what she has and things. Look at that kind of a thing. But I know that in that same school we have some ladies who kept themselves, who studied so hard to come out with what the results they have. But even though they might not have good results, they might not come up with maybe upper credit in polytechnics or distinction, but let's say lower credit. But they struggle for it, they are sweat, but they are nowhere to be found. Nobody recognized them. But these other people, we kept on celebrating them. What is your take? What's your reaction to this?
My reaction is in two ways.
Okay.
One, first of all, I celebrate academic excellence, but that should not be all.
Okay.
Yes, the younger ones should be encouraged, inspired. Like I said, that Ngozi Koji is inspiring young girls to go for gold. But when we lay too much emphasis on material well-being, then we are telling the younger ones that this is the way to go. And that is why everybody is cutting corners to become rich overnight.
At the expense of others.
And that's why we have the youth going into different kinds of
dirty things.
And then we are talking about celebrating academic excellence. The best I've seen in this country is them getting presidential handshake.
After that.
No, that shouldn't be it. If we want people to pursue academic excellence, then they must be encouraged. And the way to encourage them is that when they achieve the goals set for them academically, you celebrate them. The way we celebrate our footballers.
Of course.
The way we celebrate our athletes.
The singers, we celebrate them.
So that others, we want to emulate their good footsteps. That is, however, if that academic excellence was achieved
through the right means.
Because you mentioned a case that we discussed as we were coming. The girl who said she graduated thanks by the help of God and her personal self. I don't want to.
I understand.
But
yes.
I'm happy that she has withdrawn that statement. That was not exactly what she meant. That she never lived like that.
Okay.
That what she meant to say was her thanks to God and her popsy.
Okay.
Which is her dad.
She
said her dad is her role model. Her dad was the one that made it possible for her to graduate.
Not
the other way.
That has gone viral.
She meant to mention her popsy.
Okay. And that she actually graduated by the dint of hard work. The support of her, the financial support of her father. And the help of God Almighty.
Her own personal commitment towards hard work and dedication to her studies. Okay, yes, that is what we are talking about, and that is what we want to celebrate.
But academic excellence is not enough. When you excel academically,
without moral and culture,
we want to also see that you are a person, that you have the character.
Worthy character
to bring honor to Nigeria. Not just to your family, not just to your town, not just to your state, but to Nigeria as a whole.
Even moving away from that, what about people? I've seen somebody maybe during the street within the neighborhood seeing money on this. You have seen a lot of people that saw big money and just came and dropped it. Even to these people this kind of attitude.
Those are the people that should be celebrated. They should be celebrated.
People that are doing something that are unique. That people will say.
Those are the people that should get national honors.
You see, well, our viewers, our people who are watching us, our viewers, and anybody who's watching us, they are politicians. All these great people that the Lord has blessed, that God has blessed you through legitimate means. What we are saying on this program is that our society is supposed to be celebrating member of the society, especially these younger ones who have excelled, who have done creditably well, who have done greater things through the right sources, in the right direction, following good things. Let's encourage them. It might not be only in academics, in all facets of life. Like we have seen somebody who just say, okay, he's on the street, I just saw a million of naira, a lot of millions, and come and drop it and things like that. Those kind of people should be celebrated. This is what we are saying. We should encourage our younger ones, the future generations. We should encourage them to get right sense of doing things in the right direction, so that we can have a better society and we can have a better place to live. Well, for inquiries, for involvement, for participation, and any other thing that you need to know as regards this program, role model, don't hesitate to call the number. Please help us to scroll the number on the screen: 08065052932. 08065052932. You can get to us through that number. Thank you. That is the number of the screen: 08065052932. So through that number, we can discuss and analyze and get this program continue, even for sponsorship and whatever that you need to know. Please don't hesitate to get to us. Because of paucity of time, why do the youth need a role model? I'll start from you, Mrs. Aditoyi.
When you are growing as a young girl or as a young boy, you need somebody who will help you to discover yourself, what you want to become in future. That is why it is important to have a positive role model. Like you have said the other time, there are negative ones too. But here we are discussing the positive ones because we want the world to change, to be better place for the youth of future generation. That is why you need a positive role model. And that is where we have been citing examples of positive role models that are not too far from our environment. You remember we cited the example of Dora Akuili.
Yes.
God bless her wherever she is. God bless her soul wherever she is. I remember there was a time she was sick, she was diagnosed of cancer, and she traveled abroad with government money. On getting there, she was told she had no cancer. She came back, returning that money back into the government purse. Can you imagine that? How many of us can boast of that? She returned the money and she was well celebrated. And that was why I said, God bless her soul, wherever she is. She's a good example of a role model. This, our mama, she's still living. Mama Ngozi Nkojo. She's a good example. She's representing us well wherever she is. Wherever she goes, anywhere, anytime, any day, she's an example of a good role model.
Thank you. Time is not on our side. Yes, mommy.
I'll say that, well, we need positive role models for our youth. Like when we started, we said that a positive role model is somebody that can inspire the younger ones. Nigeria is in a difficult situation today because we do not have enough role models to show the younger ones the way to go. There's this Yoruba song which says, "Eni to mono lo ye ka tele." We need more of Gani Fawehinmi, who would lead a selfless life, who was always ready to speak for the less privileged. We need leaders like Nelson Mandela that will not trade food, that will not trade the comfort of others for their own comfort. He chose to remain in prison, and he was in prison for 27 years. You need to visit that cell where he was kept for 27 years. Nelson Mandela was a very tall man. The room that he was kept in was a very small space, which means he could not even stretch his body.
For 27 years.
For 27 years. He had to break limestones for those 27 years, which destroyed the tears gland in his eyes. That's till he died. Even in difficult situations, he couldn't cry. He couldn't shed tears.
Okay, even if it comes to change, I could see my producer, trying to, beckon at me, the camera over there, that the time is gone. Oh, I wish we continue to have more time to discuss this. But I know that this is what we cannot finish discussing on a particular day. Well, I want to sincerely appreciate my guest for coming on the program, Mrs. Adetoyi Catherine. I appreciate you, and our home mommy here, Zinola, we appreciate you for coming. And this is the Community Sport where we join the curtains on today's edition of Role Model. We have said it, and I want to believe that it has gone to the right ear. You have listened to, pick one or two things from what we have done. By the grace of God, by same time, same station, next week, when we have God's willing another interesting topic to discuss on such a role model. I want to appreciate member of my production crew, the producer, Olasunkanmi Bayo, and the executive producer, Rashid Folaran. Thank you for this privilege, this platform. From next week, I say bye-bye. God bless you, Rigo. Role model.